It is so lovely to see all of you here today. My name is Todd Sperry. I'm the Chief Marketing Officer here at the Museum of Science, he, him pronouns. And it's a real pleasure to welcome Mayor Wu here today for an exciting and important day and an important signature. I also want to welcome Commissioner Brizius, who's here amongst us, our crew. And today is, where are you? Come on. Today is just such an exciting day to see the power of policy to improve lives. And this is a lot about what we do here at the Museum of Science. And it's actually fortuitous timing. As I look at our museum, we just opened up a Center for Energy, Environment, and Biodiversity, run by David Sittenfeld over here. And it's also a moment... It's also just a moment where we just walked through an exhibit that is entirely devoted to these subjects. And so as a place that is about the power of inspiration, the power to convene, and the power to help bring together government, academia, industry, and the public, it's just a real honor that you chose the museum to help us celebrate this important moment. So I'll move off the stage and let you welcome the rest of our guests. Mayor Wu, welcome.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much, Todd. And Tim let me know that he had a board meeting, so he couldn't be here. So thank you for making sure that there's representation and for welcoming us to the museum. We are so thrilled to partner with you on many, many initiatives, from the actual improvements and greening of all that you all are doing here, the educational opportunities, and also just serving as again, as you said, a convening force and a platform for the city to come together around the challenges that face us and our ability to change the possibilities ahead of us. Thank you for your leadership. Today I'm so glad to be joined by community activists who have made it possible for this moment to be here today, a long time in the coming, and the colleagues on the City Council who took the vote so that we could be here and officially sign this adoption of the code. We are joined by City Councilor Tanya Fernandes Anderson, City Councilor Rutsu Lujen, City Councilor Kendra Lara, City Councilor Ricardo Arroyo, and as you heard, our Commissioner of the Environment, Allison Brizius. We are so grateful for her leadership alongside our Chief of Energy, Environment, and Open Space, Reverend Mariama White-Hammond, our Director of the Green New Deal at Boston, Oliver Sellers Garcia, and this is one very exciting piece among a whole suite of actions that we are furiously working to implement so that the city of Boston can be the greenest city in the country, first for families, the best place to raise a family, and you'll see that reinforced through the budget conversations that we have just recently launched at the city level, through initiatives that we are taking to electrify and make our Boston public housing buildings fossil fuel free, are the ways that we are updating our school facilities and taking every step to embrace the future that is possible. Last month, many of the folks in this room were with us when we were at the Brian J. Honan Apartments in Alston to announce that we would be filing this ordinance with the City Council to adopt the most stringent version of the new Green Building Code. It didn't take long for us to then end up here to be able to sign this ordinance. Thank you again to city councilors for their urgency in taking this up. This Green Building Code establishes standards for both new construction and major renovations to existing buildings, increasing energy efficiency and reducing emissions. That means we're not only advancing our carbon neutrality goals and making Boston a cleaner, healthier city so our residents can breathe a little easier, we are also reducing energy costs for residents who live in our most important housing communities across the city and neighborhoods throughout Boston. So I want to thank again Councilor Lara, the committee chair for the environment, Councilor Arroyo, who moves on government operations and pieces of legislation, and the entire council for recognizing this opportunity to move with urgency and address rising temperatures and rising energy prices. To all the advocates who fought to get us here today, there are too many organizations and groups here to call out, but you are pulling us along with every single issue area, and from the electric school buses that we're proud to send on the roads to new geothermal greenhouses in East Boston, setting national standards, to now the building codes that we will be able to implement and reduce the biggest source of our emissions. I won't bring up the 70% number here today. Thank you for all of your advocacy. Oh wait, I see Oliver. Oliver, you should come up here too. Anyway. Oliver, our Green New Deal director, sorry, he was just sitting in the audience. I want to pass it on to my colleagues to say a word before we sign, and I'm going to make sure that our residents who speak Spanish will have a chance to also fully understand the announcement that we're making today. But I also, after everyone up here speaks, I want to give the mic over to my friend who is here in such an incredible honor for us also to host a climate leader known globally, the mayor of Monterrey, Mexico. Mayor Luis Donaldo Colosio Riojas is here in town. Under his leadership, Monterrey became the first city in Mexico to declare a climate emergency, and I know this is an area that he is changing the world on as well. So we will invite you up in a little bit. Ok, otra vez en español. El mes pasado estuvimos con muchas de las personas que están aquí hoy en los departamentos Honen de Austin para anunciar que presentaríamos una ordenanza al Consejo Municipal para adoptar un nuevo código de construcción ecológica. Una semana después, nuestros colegas del Consejo votaron a favor de aprobar esa ordenanza. El Código de Construcción Ecológica establece normas tanto para las nuevas construcciones como para la remodelación de los edificios existentes, aumentando la eficiencia energética y reduciendo las emisiones. Esto significa que no solo estamos avanzando en nuestros objetivos de neutralidad de carbono y haciendo de Boston una ciudad más limpia y saludable para que nuestros residentes puedan respirar un poco más fácil. También estamos reduciendo los costes energéticos de los residentes del Honen y de departamentos similares de toda la ciudad. Así que quiero dar las gracias una vez más a la concejal Lara y todos mis colegas en el Consejo Municipal por reconocer esta oportunidad de actuar con urgencia y abordar el aumento de las temperaturas y de los precios de la energía. Y a todos los defensores que lucharon para llegar a donde estamos hoy. Gracias por su continua dedicación a las causas que importan a nuestras comunidades y por ayudarnos a demostrar lo que es posible cuando nos comprometemos a hacer lo correcto para nuestro planeta y nuestra gente. Estoy muy contenta de firmar hoy esta ordenanza con todos ustedes. Gracias. Super nervous. Okay, and I'm going to pass it on to Councilor Lara and all of my colleagues on the council for a quick word.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mayor Wu, and thank you to everybody for being here today. My name is Kendra Lara, and I am the city councilor that represents District 6, and I very humbly serve as the chair of the Environmental Justice, Resiliency, and Parks Committee on the Boston City Council. For the past week in the city of Boston, I have been thinking a lot about legacy. The city has been mourning and celebrating the life of a great civil rights leader, Mel King, and my own family has been celebrating and reveling in the memory of my own mother at the 10-year anniversary of her death. And one of the things that this has brought up for me is that nothing that we do is inconsequential. Whether it be hosting brunch on Sunday mornings with community members at your house or pitching up a tent to fight for housing justice in your neighborhood, everything that we do today will have an impact tomorrow. Passing and opting into the municipal stretch code may seem like a technocratic, policy wonky step that we're taking in the city of Boston, but it is not inconsequential, and it's going to really have an impact that's going to reverberate. So today we're grateful for all of the community organizers, the leaders, and the policymakers that made this possible, but tomorrow our descendants will thank us. So thank you to everybody who made this possible. It's my absolute honor to work in collaboration with Mayor Wu to make sure that Boston is a resilient city and that it serves our most vulnerable communities. Thank you.
Good Good afternoon, everybody. Councilor Ricardo Arroyo, I just want to start by thanking the Museum of Science for hosting us in this space that I spent much of my childhood in. I want to thank advocates who are here for making sure that we continue to push, that this is not an end spot but a starting point to continue to push further, as we know that these things have a cascading ripple impact over time. And, you know, I was thinking back in this space to when I was here as a child, maybe 10, 12 years old, which is about 22 decades or so ago. The earth and the world that I inherited at that time is very different than the earth and the world that we are looking at today. And much of that is due to action and inaction. And I'm reminded that inaction is a decision just as much as action is a decision. And so I'm incredibly grateful to this administration, to the Mayor Wu administration, for ensuring that we are continuing to lead the fight for a better climate, for a better world. The world that we leave for children today, as I watch them run and play and interact with things such as the garden walk, the world and the climate that they are inheriting, frankly, the outlook and the prescription for that outlook requires urgent action. The outlook for that is somewhat dire, unfortunately, and steps like this move us closer to doing the necessary work collectively that we have to do to ensure that the world that we are leaving these children is a world that we would want to leave these children. And so I'm incredibly grateful for all of the work that went into getting this through the state, getting this to our desk, and making sure that the administration is one of the leading municipalities to get behind this. And so it is with that urgency in mind that we move this forward, and it is with that urgency in mind that we will continue to fight for these kinds of steps like the municipal stretch code, which will lead to a completely different outlook for what new construction and new major renovations in the city look like going forward, that we do things making sure that we look forward to making sure that all of our developments, whether they're new or old, are meeting new energy and climate standards. I think is incredibly important. Will have a deep, long-lasting impact, and I look forward to partnering with whatever else this administration brings forward as we lead the fight for a Green New Deal and for a green Boston. So thank you.
Hi, everyone. I am Ruthie Louisiane, at-large City Councilor. Very happy to be with you here today. I'm not going to belabor the moment because my colleagues and the mayor have said a lot, but I just want to thank the mayor for your leadership here as an at-large City Councilor that goes from neighborhood to neighborhood. You see just very visibly the potential impacts of us doing nothing, and so us opting into the municipal stretch code or working alongside our state partners is the only option to make sure that we are doing everything we can from Dorchester to East Boston, from Mattapan to Beacon Hill, to make sure that our neighbors and all of our neighbors and our neighborhoods are resilient in the fight for climate justice. I see so many advocates here, so many teachers, and I thank all of you for all you teach us. As we're thinking about the Green New Deal and greening our economy, we also have to think about racial equity and making sure we are browning the green economy, that these jobs that are going to be available, yes, as a result of the work and the efforts that we are making, are available to Black and brown folks who have often been shut out of these industries. And that takes all of us. It takes the Museum of Science as a leader. I know Tim isn't here, and I don't know where Lisa is, but there you are. Lisa was with us last week at the Mattapan Teen Center, and your commitment to this city and to making sure that our young people at the Mattapan Teen Center and throughout the city have access to this museum, and they know that this museum is their museum too. That is important, and that gets young people to think about where they are and how they are centered in this fight for climate justice. So many of them teach us. We have to pave the way for them to have access to what we'll teach them, and this museum is one of those things. So thank you, Lisa. Thank you to the Museum of Science team and to everyone as we work together to build the future that we deserve. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. In the spirit of Ramadan Mubarak to those who celebrate, it's a perfect moment to look at ways of making everything clean, right? So when it comes to not just environment, but housing, safety, transportation, as well as equity, our mayor is certainly a champion, but pun intended in both ways, right? And I'm certainly proud of this administration in terms of the policies and all of our projects looking forward. I look forward to working with you. Thank you, Mayor Wu, for putting this forward, as well as Lisa, Yusa, Tim. Thank you so much for such a welcoming interaction and to your space. I look forward to working with you as well. And with my district, again, my name is Tanya Fernandes Anderson, and I look forward to being able to not just interpreting, but translating this information and bringing it forth and disseminating it throughout my district, but throughout Boston, so that we can ensure that everyone understands and is keeping up with what's happening. Thank you so much.
And now I'm putting him on the spot, but he came all the way here, and I'm so honored to know him and to introduce you all to him, Mayor Colosio Riojas.
So I just want to say your Spanish is fantastic. Now I'm the one who's nervous. Well, thank you very much for having me here. I wasn't prepared for this, but no, I'm kidding. I am very excited to be part of this moment, and I want to congratulate you and all your staff, all your council, and especially all your citizens who have pushed for this to be a reality, because many of these initiatives are not something that stems out of government, but something that is implemented by government due to a push by the citizen. So this is a huge win. Yes, as Mayor Wu said, Monterrey became 2 years ago the first city in all of Mexico to declare a climate emergency. They said that we were being ridiculous. They said it was absurd, and we were daft. And then last year, Monterrey and its whole metro area suffered the worst drought in its contemporary history. So right now we are struggling with these facts that global climate change is real and it's here. But it doesn't matter, because how many actions we discuss in the global stage, every single one of the great global distresses that we suffer as humanity must have a solution that stems from the local. So the Green Building Ordinance is exactly that. Something that takes into account not only climate change and how can we modify the way we do things about our construction, but we also take into account how we better the livelihood of people, how we better their health, their economy. So it's a very holistic solution, and I really congratulate you and thank you for letting me be part of this. Thank you.
Okay, let me know when I can come to Monterrey and hype up something that you're doing too. Now we'll do the signing, so I'd like to invite up any of our community members and advocates who'd like to, if you advocated at the State House for this to pass, if you helped testify at the City Council, if you want to just be up here for this moment, come join us back here, and we'll take a photo of the signing.
Yay. Please. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I got it at
What a deal. I love it.
Really appreciate your speech.
Oh, please. You gotta get it there. Oh, of course.
As long as I can see the camera.
People here.
Great.
You will have less.
Great. I'm making the specialized cone after.
Here, I'll go center.
Okay. I went to BBRS meetings that were held in prisons, basically.
Yes.
So.
You're taller.
Yes.
Am I? Oh, okay. I don't want to block people because I often will.
Come up front here.
Where are we putting the mayor of Monterrey?
You want to get there?
Yeah, sure. I don't want to. I don't know what.
You look great.
Yeah.
Everyone can be seen. Everyone has your window.
Just down a little.
You have to slow.
You can see this lens, I can see you. There you go.
This is the weirdness of trying to get your shirt in the picture. It always makes me contort.
All right.
Time to figure out who Michelle's favorite person is when she gets that pen away.
I was trying to give it to her.